and welcome to my weekly video blog, and today on A Vogel Talks Menopause I'm going to be talking about, are you too anxious to sleep? So how you can calm nighttime anxiety and sleep better in the perimenopause and menopause. If you like my tips and advice, then please subscribe and remember to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of all my new videos. So do you find when you go to bed that you're tossing and turning, you just can't relax physically, you just don't feel comfortable no matter what position you're in? Do you find that you're lying in bed worrying, you're anxious, your brain's going 20 to the dozen, you're worrying about things that maybe you did or didn't do during the day, and you're worrying about things you've got to do tomorrow, and these thoughts just go on and on? And do you find that it's really impossible to calm your mind and switch off? So anxiety is really common. It's probably the second most common menopause symptom in our experience in the perimenopause and the menopause. And anxiety itself has a huge impact on sleep. And sleep is also another really common menopause and perimenopause symptom. So what I'm going to do today is look at how these impact on each other and how you can help yourself to resolve this. So sleep, it's one of the most common, again, like anxiety, symptoms of the perimenopause and menopause. And most women will experience some kind of sleep disturbance at some point along the way. So it's something that happens on a regular basis to everybody. Low estrogen, when your estrogen is starting to fall in the menopause or it's fluctuating in the perimenopause, this can affect your ability to drop off to sleep quickly. And it can also prevent you from staying asleep and getting into a deep sleep state. Now, going into a deep sleep state, or your dream stage, it's called REM, is really important for our well-being, both physical and emotional. So if you're not getting that stage of sleep, that can have a huge impact, again, on next day, and will make you more vulnerable to anxiety and stress. If you're going to bed anxious, so if you've had a really stressful day or you're getting general anxiety, that's going to compound the problem as well. So not only have you got the daytime anxiety your body's got to put up with, but when you can't fall asleep, you get more and more anxious and wound up as well. So it can actually compound the problem and make getting off to sleep and staying asleep even more of a struggle. So you may find too that you might eventually get off to sleep, but stress and anxiety will make you more prone to waking up a lot more. And low estrogen does that too. If you don't get into that deep sleep, then noises and movement will wake you up much more regularly. And also this will make you much more prone to things like night sweats and flushes during the night too. So the reason that this happens is that as I mentioned before, as your estrogen starts to fall, it can affect your ability to fall asleep, stay asleep, but also the general state of the hormones. As your hormones are fluctuating all over the place, this can pull your nervous system in. Your body's just under a lot of pressure physically with all these hormonal changes going on. The nervous system gets pulled in whether it likes it or not, and that makes you much more sensitive to everything else that's going on around you. So you can end up getting stuck in flight or fight. And again, if you've had anxiety during the day, your nervous system is going to be revved up and you're not going to be able to calm it down. And what's happening here is that when you're in a state of flight or fight, it's your body's way of protecting yourself from danger. Now, when you're trying to get to sleep, if you're in flight or fight mode, you won't sleep because your brain is wired to keep you awake so that you can check for danger all over the place. You might find too that your heart is racing a little bit as well. So you've got all this to contend with, and just trying to get to sleep, it can be practically impossible. And I know some of you tell me that you're lying awake for maybe 3 or 4 hours a night before getting off to sleep, and then you're waking up. So you're maybe not even getting 3 or 4 hours sleep in any one given night, which will compound all your other symptoms as well. So it can also be a vicious cycle. So if you're getting lots of anxiety during the day, it's going to affect your sleep. And if you don't sleep well, you're going to be anxious the next day. And if this goes on, you're literally in a downward spiral of anxiety and poor sleep. And then comes the fatigue and the low mood and everything else that goes with that too. So what can you do to help yourself here? The first thing, and I know we get fed up of talking about, sleep hygiene, but you need to look at maintaining a regular sleeping pattern. Try to go to bed at the same time every night. What I found was that I like to go to bed early and get up early. So I'd go to bed at 10 o'clock and I'd be lying awake with my brain going round and round in circles until 11 o'clock. So I thought, right, instead of lying in bed for that hour, getting more and more wound up because I can't sleep, I'll stay up an hour later and see if that makes a difference. And that really helped me just to get back into a reasonably good sleeping pattern. Try and relax before you go to bed if you can. So, for the last hour, they do say no TV, no adventure book. I mean, that's me. I like sort of adventure and crime books. And it's the worst thing you can do before bed because you're excited, you're revved up, you can sometimes feel your heart going. And it's the same if you're looking at scary TV. So try and cut these out. Do relaxing things. Some women tell me they like to knit or sew or do something very calming before bed. And that can sometimes make a huge difference. Also, keep off, after your last meal, keep off sugar and salt foods and caffeine because they will all rev your nervous system up as well. Do the deep breathing. I can't emphasize enough how deep breathing can make a huge difference to so many different menopause symptoms. So just get into the habit, because if you do deep, slow breathing, your nervous system calms down and it then can't rev up. Your nervous system, it's impossible for it to be revving up and calm at the same time. It can only be one or the other. So getting your nervous system used to being in that calm state with the breathing can make a huge amount of difference too. Write down your anxiety. So many of you tell me that you do a nighttime journal, write down what's been going on during the day that's worrying you, and then let it go. And I mentioned that in my previous vlog about overthinking. And a lot of you came back saying that you do it or you've done it and you found it so helpful. So 5 minutes just before you jump into bed, quickly write things down. You can make sure that your sleeping environment is as stress-free as possible. I think it's red is probably the worst colour to have in the bedroom because it's a sign of energy and it can be a sign of anger too. So try to go for more muted colours. Make sure your bed is comfy, that your mattress isn't 10, 15 years old. And that in itself, poor mattress or poor support, especially if you're getting a bit of joint or muscle aches and pain. So a good mattress is really important. The right types of pillow as well. And if you're getting night sweats, and especially if the weather's really hot, you want to be thinking about the tog of your duvet too, to make sure that you're not trying to get to sleep when you are too hot. Look at calming herbs such as valerian and hops. These are in our licensed sleep remedy Dormiezan. The flower essences can be absolutely wonderful as well for shutting off the chattering mind. And I know for me, the relaxing essence was a really helpful one, because it just switched off when my brain was going 25 to the dozen. Do some exercise, get yourself tired before you go to bed, but not mad. We don't want you, doing mad stuff that's going to rev up your nervous system. But something like 10 minutes stretching yoga in the evening can be really great. YouTube's fantastic for that. You can do, some of them are only 5 minutes, and if you're really tired, then 5 minutes is all you need. Stretching yourself, limbering yourself can help your muscles to relax that little bit easier as well. And again, some of you have said that you find weighted blankets really helpful. These are special blankets that are weighted, but they are very comforting. They ground you, they hold you into your bed, and that can also help you to get off to sleep and have a better night's sleep too. So I hope you found that helpful, and please, if you have found things have worked really well for you, be it remedies or just things you've done or not done in the evening before bed you have found has really helped your sleep, then please share your stories with us. And until then, I will see you next week for another A Vogel Talks Menopause.